Good morning, my name is Karen Turriago. I talking about the culture of wishes in Belgium, history, myths, and traditions. Welcome to this class on with culture in Belgium, history, myths, and traditions, which has been figures who have aroused fear, fascination, and persecution throughout the centuries in Belgium. Their story is filled with thrills, legends, and even festivals today. My goal is to help you understand how the fear of and society involvement over time in the cultural symbol that is celebrated today. Introduction. I want to start with a question: what comes to mean when I say the word wish? Some of you probably think of broad Miss Smith sticks, pointy hats, black hats, or even fairy thoughts. But in Belgium, the concept of wish was much more complex. The represented with women with are herders. Sometimes they were simple, different people or people with knowledge that others didn't understand. Over time, they become symbols of fear and heresy. Today, we'll see how these images went from persecution to culture festival that attract thousands of tourists. Historical context between the 15th and 17th centuries, Europe experienced a veritable witch hunt. The Inquisition pursued any sign of a pact with the devil. This phenomenon was intensely experienced in Belgium. It is estimated that hundreds of people were executed on charges of witchcraft. Most of them were women, although some men were also accused. A very famous case is that a technique is conical, considered one of the last wishes executed in Flanders. In the important thing is to understand that these women were not the women they were portrayed as. They were of the my wave hurlers, simple marginally people, but fear and intolerance lead to their persecution. Superstitions and beliefs. The figure of the witch in Belgium was surrounded by symbols and superstitions. Black cats were considered their companions. Broomsticks were seen as magical objects for flying. They were said to have made pacts with the devil and had the power to cast curses. But there was also a positive side. They were wise women who used herbs for healing. They prepared natural remedies that today might be considered traditional medicine. Many women play important roles in communicate care. The problem is that society minimizes that with some with superstition and fear, turning them into vegans. Trials in Belgium, in regions like Flanders, Brabant, and Namur, which trials were common, the methods were cruel and illogical. Also, these were used such as floating them in water. If they float, they were wishes. They sang and died they were innocent. They looked for marks of the devil on the body. A simple scar could be run for conviction. Torture was used to extract false confessions. Against these truths was a very strong social contrast. The women were often widowed, poor, or simple different, which made them vulnerable. This period left a mark of pain in Belgian history. Belgian legends and myths. Not everything in Belgian we culture is about persecutions. We also find very rich legends. That of the village of his in Rimburg, whose name literally means wish. Their stories are told of women who could transform into animals to spy on their neighbors. Other legends tell of witches who fly over the fields to ruin the crops. During Carnival, thoughts of witches who protect or punish naughty children were passed down. These stories are part of Belgian folklore and are still told in some beaches today. Current festival. Today, which crown in Belgium celebrate with joy in the beach of Besseler. The which is part known as Hillstadt. His how every 2 years is a huge event with fruits, costumes, and theatrical performance. Dozens of tourists come to see how the town reveals all legends and festival way. Is an example how something that was once fear and persecutions is now culture and tourism. Other Belgian towns also include wishes in their carnivals and following festival. Popular culture. The figure of the witch also appears in modern Belgian culture, in famous theater, in film and television, where legends are revived for new generations. There are museums dedicated to witchcraft, such as the Hinson Museum, which explains but the history of the persecutions and the mythology aspect. Current perspective. Today wishes have grown from being persecuted figures to culture symbols. They represent part of historical memory. Remember this suffering. Instantly, they have become tourist and cultural traditions. They teach us how collective first can transform the way we see people. Reflection, what was once a source of fear can now be reinterpreted as culture identified. Audience activity. It leads to question. It used to then about together and write your answer in the chat. What superstition do you know in your country? Are there figures similar to Belgian witches? For example, in Latin America, there are stories of the Llorona, weeping woman, while in other places there are legends of goblins or night spirits. Comparing these traditions helps you see how culture did with their first in similar essays. Conclusions. To close, let's review what we learned. In Belgium, witches were first symbol of fear and superstition, then they become victims of persecution during the Inquisition throats. Rather, they become a part of popular legends and tradition today. They are a culture, tourist, and identify symbol. The story of witches in Belgium remains of that often what we call witchcraft was and nothing more than folk wisdom or simple being different. Okay, talking about the witchcraft legends in Belgium. Rich and complex story. Belgium, a country nestled in the heart of Europe, was a rich and complex story that spans centuries. One of the most fascinating aspects of Belgian history is the legacy of weird crash, which has left an indelible mark on the country's culture and folklore. The witch hunts on the Middle Ages. During the Middle Age, the Catholic Church viewed witchcraft as a threat to its authority, and the persecution of witches became an widespread phenomenon. In Belgium, the witch hunts were particularly intense in the region of Flanders, where many women were accused of witchcraft and subject to torture and exactions. The city of Bruges, with its cobblestone streets and medieval architecture, was one of the places where some of the most brutal witch hunts took place. The legend of the witches ever died. The legend of the witches has endured in Belgian folklore. According to local legends, witch wall whether in secret to celebrate their rituals and dance, often in places like the city of Hassan. These stories have been passed down through generations and continue to captivate the imagination of people to this day. The Witchcraft Museum in Bruges. In the city of Bruges, visitors can explore the Witchcraft Museum, which offers a fascinating glimpse into the history of witchcraft in Belgium. The museum features a collection of artifacts and exhibits that showcase the complex and after dark history of witchcraft in the region. The celebration of witches in modern day Belgium, despite the dark history of witch hunts. The legend of the witches has become an integral part of Belgian culture mm, in some cities, like Derby. The Festival of Witches is celebrated annually, featuring music, dance, theater performance. The festival is an opportunity for people to connect with their culture, heritage, and celebrate an enduring legacy of witches in Belgian folklore. The enduring legacy of witches in Belgian culture. The story of witches in Belgium is a complex and multi-phase topic that continues to fascinate people to this day. From the witch hunts on the Middle Age to the modern day celebrations of witches, the lay of witchcraft has left an indelible mark on Belgian culture. Whether you're interested in story, folklore, or simple the magic of the old known. The story of wishes in Belgium is a fascinating that is sure to captivate and inspire. The significance of wishes in Belgian folklore. In Belgian folklore, wishes are often depicted, depicted as mysterious and powerful figures with a deep understanding of the natural world and the supernatural. They are said to possess magical powers which they use for good or evil depending on their intentions. The legend of the witches has become as integral part of Belgian cultural heritage and continues to inspire artistic writers and musicians to this day. Conclusion: the story which in Belgium is a rich and complex topic that spans centuries, from the witch hunts on the Middle Age to the modern day celebration of witches, the legacy of witchcraft as left and indelible mark on Belgian culture. Whether you're interested in history, folklore, or simple the magic on the now, the story of wishes in Belgium is a fascinating tale that is sure to captivate and inspire. Finish teaching. Finish. Thank you for attending.